Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reorganizing my bookshelves. Yeah, it needs to happen. I'll talk about why and all of that in the meat of the video. But I guess what you need to know is that if this is your first time to my videos, then hello, a special welcome to you. I am Shelly and I really love books and reading, and reorganizing my books is something that keeps me in touch with my collection. So if you're watching as an unsubscribed person, I would encourage you to subscribe and stick around. Without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. Before I had this microphone, I had to have this lens that you are seeing me through now. I had to have this lens on my camera, and it had to be very close to me because this microphone was essentially sitting on top of the camera. And so the closer I sat to the camera, the better the sound quality. But since I have this cord and I could now take the mic off and get it closer to me, it means I have like more options. And the first thing I did was that I went back to my favorite lens. So I bought this, I went back to my favorite lens, meaning that I could shoot the videos and the camera doesn't have to be super close. So I went back to an old favorite, which I haven't been able to do for years. But now I have you switched to this lens and y'all are really you could see a lot more of the background. Let me know if you like this, but I did it because you can see what I am doing as I'm moving things around. And so yeah, so I'm excited. I just wanted to point that out because I thought it was an exciting feature, maybe for camera nerds like me. It was an exciting feature to this video. Don't judge the outfit. The outfit is pretty low key, y'all. I am now teaching, and this I need a low-key outfit. So here's what I want to do. I need to reorganize. Theoretically, this room should have only unread books, but because of the way my collection has grown and morphed, I think I need to put at least several stacks of read books on these shelves. I think that how I'm going to do it is this. I've been thinking about this, y'all. Going horizontally, I have 5 sections in which I can make a stack of books. And I think on the bottom shelves, I want to make those the books that I have read, because those bottom shelves get neglected. I tend not to look down there because I don't know. I think it's just, just like when you're shopping, you shop at eye level often, and sometimes you'll look up, but sometimes one does not look down. so that kind of works when I'm shopping my own shelves. So I think I've made that decision, and I think my first thing is that I need to pull off all of the books that I have read from these shelves and in this room. Well, that was quick. It was far less than I thought it was going to be. I have Emma by Jane Austen. I have The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. And I have My Antonia by Willa Cather. All of these were very good books, and I'm keeping them. So I'm going to set these aside, and let's get all the books from those bottom shelves on this table so I can start to figure out what to do as I'm sorting through. The way I've learned to organize books on these shelves is to create stacks that have a similar theme, or that I consider a small collection. It's a smaller collection within the larger library. It changes all the time the way I want to organize my books, so I don't have hard and fast system. I often am kind of a rogue librarian, as one of you likes to say, because I will organize it based off of historical fiction all goes together, or all of my poetry going together is not an unusual thing. But I remember having a stack of, British history books, and it wouldn't just be history as in nonfiction books. I also had historical books that were historical fiction, and I just stacked them all there because those books sort of, in my opinion, were talking to each other. And whenever I wanted to read a British lit book, I had a stack, there waiting for me. So because I organize my library in that way, it means that I also need to make some space for a stack that I will create. So I need to make more space, which means that the books, it's going to just get a little bit taller. But this is good. This is good. I have more frame space, so you'll be able to see. So I'll be right back. Things are already very messy, so things will get worse before they get better. So I actually have a couple of books here that I don't want in this room anymore. I thought at one point, and it inspired me then, and it worked then, but it's all about evolving and playing and changing these kinds of videos with one's collection. It's me and my collection of books. And anyways, my point is that this book here, which is The Count of Monte Cristo in this stunning, absolutely stunning cloth-bound classic edition, this book here, and actually E.M. Forster's A Passage to India, these two books are very beautiful, and I have a couple of sections in my home where I put very beautiful books. And so I originally, again, they're in here because I thought, oh, I'll put all my unread books together, and at that time it made me happy. But since sometimes these shelves get kind of messy, I don't think that these books are being displayed or enjoyed to their fullest potential in this room. So I think I'm going to put these back out in our sitting room where I can see them. And ultimately, I probably am going to read both of these on my Kindle because one, this one's huge. And I know from the cloth-bound classics that they're not super sturdy and they show wear very quickly. And to be honest, I love the way this book looks, and so I want to keep it in this form. And this one is a Reader's Digest hardcover. A Passage to India by E.M. Forster is a Reader's Digest hardcover, which I believe are incredibly durable. But to be real, I've been loving my Kindle, and I would just much rather read these classics on my Kindle. And so I'm going to move these to a place where I can see them and enjoy them. I actually really like that idea of putting my beautiful books in the sitting room, so I'm going to do a sweep and look for my beautiful books that are unread so that they can join their friends in the sitting room. 4 more books that fit that brief. I have The Awakening by Kate Chopin in this Everyman's Library edition. I have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. I also have Bracebridge Hall by Washington Irving. I bought this because it is a stunning book, and it's illustrated by Rudolph Caldecott, and I think it's the same Mr. Caldecott who came up with the Caldecott Medal, which is an award for American picture books, beautiful American picture books, beautifully illustrated American picture books. And then I also have this misread book. Not that I don't want to read this copy, but I think it'll actually fit better with my beautiful display books. It's also a good time to clean up. I have some trash. Okay, I think 2 piles that are standing out to me right now. I want to do a stack of short books in honor of Shorty September. I think I'm not feeling the most inspired about Shorty September. It's totally a me thing. It's not Shorty September's fault. But maybe if I stacked up all of my short books in one stack and I saw them all together, if I'm feeling the urge to pick up a really quick read, then I can go to that stack. So I want to do a short book stack, and I want to do a mystery book stack, because to me, I almost only read mysteries if I'm in the mood for them. And so I don't want to go hunting for those books. I want to be able to choose from the collection that I have. I have quite the stack of short books, so let me go through them pretty quickly. I have Street Cop by Art Spiegelman, this teeny tiny little thing. Romeo and Juliet, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Ballad of the Sad Cafe by Carson McCullers, Far Cry from Kensington by Muriel Spark, Tender as the Flesh by Augustine Batstierka, and it's translated by Sarah Moses. A Midsummer's Night's Dream, Eudora Welty's The Optimist's Daughter, Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz Ryan, The Bridge of St. Louis Ray by Thornton Wilder, Observations by Marianne Moore, The Captain's Verses by Pablo Neruda. Jules Verne, Around the World in 80 Days. A book of essays by Natalia Ginsburg. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and this is translated by Gregory Hayes. This book is getting closer to 300 pages, but it's still pretty short, and it is Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi, or Camilla Shamsi. I'm not sure, actually. We also have Terrace Story by Hilary Leecher right here. Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McNulty right there. And this stack, I'm like holding it on my lap. And The Velveteen Rabbit, which I have read. I just bought this copy and I want to reread it, which I need to prioritize very soon, y'all. I'm going to add to that stack Silas Marner by George Eliot. All right, more short books. We have Shortcomings by Adrian Tomine. I don't even know where this came from. I asked my husband. We both don't know where this came from. Also, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Ariel by Sylvia Plath. And Lois Lowry's Number the Stars. In addition to that, we have an exclusive love by Johanna Ajoran? I'm not sure how to say that. There's another book. Oh, right here. Another short book. Moomin, the comic strip, which I bought ages ago and I still haven't read. So these are going to be added to my short book stack. I have a small bookshelf over there, and on that bookshelf, I have most of my hardcovers. And since I put some hardcovers in my short book stack, I am going to fill in some of the gaps with some hardcovers I have on this table. First one is Rodham by Curtis Sittenfeld. I thought Curtis Sittenfeld was a guy for a really long time. I was wrong. Curtis is a female author. And then I also have The Revolution of Marina M. by Janet Finch. So these two can go on that shelf. On that shelf. I changed the framing a little bit, so hopefully it's not too weird. Out of frame, I was going to try and capture it, but out of frame I have even more shelves. There's more tiers to these shelves. And I think what I want to do is I want to put my nonfiction books in an order that makes sense to me up there, because they are already full of nonfiction books. I already have a couple of stacks of nonfiction books. So I'm just going to continue with the vibe and make maybe those upper shelves nonfiction books for the most part. So let's see how that goes. In terms of nonfiction, I will stack them up as I read the titles. So I have Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt, Silent Spring by Rachel Carson, Radium Girls by Kate Moore, 2 Svetlana Alexievich books, which I'm still scared to read because I know the content is incredibly difficult. I have Cleopatra by Stacy Schiff and The War by Marguerite Duras. I also have a lot of dust in my face. Okay. The History of God by Karen Armstrong. Peter Ackroyd's The Tudors. I have The Professor and the Madman by Simon Winchester. I don't know if I want to read this book anymore. You tell me if it was a good book. I have Barbara Tucham's The Distant Mirror and a biography of Virginia Woolf. Before I put these books up, I like the idea of British books, British history books in one stack. It just tickles me, okay? So I'm going to create a stack of like British type history books. So we have Peter Ackroyd's The Tudors, Sun and Splendor by Sharon K. Penman, The Royals by Kitty Kelly, The Fifth Queen by Ford Madox Ford. I think for now that's it. So I'm going to put up my British book stack that focuses on British history or is set during a very famous time in British history. And then I have this stack of nonfiction that I'm going to have meet with my other nonfiction stack. I found another nonfiction, Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. Okay, so right next to my shorty stack, I think it would be fun to put a chunkster stack, and right next to my British books, my British history-esque books, I also want to put my very American books, because I have several of those. So let me go find the American books first, and then I'll find chunksters. The American People, The Brutality of Fact. This is by Larry Kramer, not Lori Kramer, Larry Kramer. This is going to be about the AIDS epidemic set in the 1950s in the US. I think actually specifically in Washington, D.C. 1950s, 1980s, right around there, but definitely an American-focused, centric book. Also, Rules of Civility by Amor Towles. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. And The Ladies of the Club goes into my American stack, even though it's also a chunkster. But I found The Sixth Wife by Susanna Dunn, which is going to go in my British reading stack. The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, very American book, I believe. More nonfiction I found, so it's going to go, again, out of frame next to its other nonfiction friends. So I have The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down by Anne Fadiman, This Wheel of Rocks, In the Land of Men, The Color of Water, Truth and Beauty, The Curve of Time, An American Childhood, Memoirs of a Dutiful Daughter, The Long Walk, The Journal of Solitude, Recollections of My Non-Existence, Finding Elevation, My Dear Friend, From My Life I Write to You by Yin Yan Lee. And I know I didn't say all the authors, and so please forgive, But Yin Yan Lee, I think, is a Booker judge this year. It might have been good for me to have read this, to maybe get some insight into Yin Yan Lee's writing style and preference, perhaps. I found this nonfiction book, which I'm actually going to set with my short books, and it is Penguin the Magpie. It's mostly photographs of how a penguin changed a family's life. Ooh, okay, Remains of the Day, definitely British, and it's gonna go in my British stack because it's about a British butler. Prairie Fires, nonfiction, but it's about the writer Laura Ingalls Wilder, the writer of Little House on the Prairie. It's supposed to be very, very American, so it's gonna go in my American stack. With that, I'm also going to put The Yearling. Quickly, I'm going to do chunksters. So Ducks Newburyport is going to go next to my shorty stack. So is The Mists of Avalon, the Forsyth Saga. We have Carter Beats the Devil and A Suitable Boy, which I still think stands as the longest book on my shelves unread. I have this book, Through a Glass Darkly, which is going to go in my chunkster stack. Okay, I'm going to do a second chunkster stack, and in that is going to be Moby Dick, The Eye of the Sun, The Weight of Ink, Life After Life. Those are all going to be in their own chunkster stack. I'm also going to put The Street Sweeper on there as well because it's a bit of a chunkster. I found another red book, The Odyssey by Homer, which I'm going to add to my red books stack. And I think that's it for now. I've made good progress. I have at least some sense of what I'm doing. And so maybe as I continue to work through this library, I'll know where exactly to slot these books. But yeah, that's it. So tell me if you enjoyed this. I know I went through things really quickly, but I just hope you were here for the ride. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and spending this time with me. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.